got a lot of increased chatter that Tesla could be entering the fray. You've got a number of perhaps the other automakers, low-cost automakers in particular, eyeing and looking at the Indian market. Do you think that you can maintain your substantive position there and not have to worry so much about the Teslas of the world coming in?
No, competition has been there in India now for the last 20 years. And most of the leading global car manufacturers all have operations in India. But despite that competition, Maruti has maintained with a market share of between 40 and 50% throughout this period. So we feel that we have strengths in India which other companies do not have, and because of which we will be able to maintain a market share which will be probably in mid-40s or nearing 50s over the next 10 years also.
How do you see that market growing, particularly in the relative size of the combustion engine sector versus the EV sector?
Both engine because are going to keep going now. The estimate of market growth of the industrial around 6% a year for the decade up to 2030. And by 2030, the component of EVs in the total sales would rise to maybe around 25%, something like that. It's difficult to predict this now. We always expect that 15% of Maruti sales by 2030 will be in the EV sector.
Can I just ask you, RC, what charging standard are you going to be using for your new EV models? Are you going to adopt the same as Tesla? Because I would imagine, I hate bringing up Tesla so many times because your company is exceptional. But just in terms of if they were to enter the Indian market, because there's that lack of the infrastructure, you would imagine that potentially they could be utilised to start building out the supercharger network in India, and then every company that produces vehicles there could benefit.
The Indian market is not like markets in other parts of the world. And where the vehicle production will take place and where the segment of EVs will grow and what charging infrastructure will have its own uniqueness for the Indian market. And we expect that because of the different economic status we have in India, and the resource endowment of India in the energy sector, the composition of vehicles for reducing carbon footprint need not necessarily all be electric vehicles. We feel that other energy sources like CNG, ethanol, biogas, these will also constitute a significant part of the program for reducing the carbon footprint. Car companies will have to take note of the nature of the Indian car market if they really want to get to the stage where the carbon footprint becomes up targets which have been set by the government.